What is going on, everyone? Finally got some time to finish off this voiceover for last week's training sessions, right? The whole week, right? So this is from September 2nd through the 7th. So I'm catching up, getting a little bit closer here. And you're gonna basically go through where you're gonna see the entire training of the week, for the most part, minus a few accessory movements, which I am planning on implementing in the future videos. However, for this particular video, I really just want to cover the way I was able to basically break down prep for me. So I already knew I was doing Raw Nationals 16 weeks out on the dot, so I was able to plan accordingly, and the 16 weeks out would be what I would call the training cycle, the entire training cycle, right? And that's a total of four months. Every 4 weeks or every month or so, I would have a training block, right? So my training block is 4 weeks long, and weeks 1 through 3, I'm either increasing intensity or I'm either increasing the volume, right? Week 4 would be followed with a deload of some sort. So then I'll drop the volume or I'll drop the intensity. And I didn't do this every single block. It would depend on what the block focused on. So at 16 weeks out and at 12 weeks out, I didn't deload, as I recall. So blocks 1 and 2, there wasn't much of a deload because there wasn't a super high amount of volume or intensity. Block 1 and 2, or 16 weeks out and 12 weeks out, it was a lot more, there was more variation. It wasn't just squat, bench, and deadlift. You know, there was definitely a lot more unilateral work, some variations that I'm not doing anymore. And really the whole purpose of that is to create a novel stimulus, a new stimulus that my body would be able to acclimate to eventually. And kind of give myself a break from squat, bench, and dead press because, and I said dead press and deadlift because basically 8 weeks out, it would just be focusing on that.
What is going on, everyone? So just finished my first set at 517, pause triple on the deadlift. Felt okay. I got here a little later than expected just because I started a new rotation this week at Fresno State. That's cool. So again, yeah, I got here a little late, feeling a little bit tired, but the weight's still moving, so I'm gonna keep it going. We're looking for a top triple on the pause deadlift for about an RPE 7.5. So here we go.
So as I was saying, basically, from 16 to 12 weeks out, I was working on accessory work more so than now. And so now we're about 5 weeks out today, right? Today's the 12th of September, but as far as this footage, training footage goes, I'm about 6 weeks out. So at this point in prep, squat, bench press, and deadlift is the bread and butter, right? Accessory or supplemental work has been brought down to a very minimum. We're talking maybe 2 sets every training session or so. It really depends, right? So I'll go ahead and let this footage play, and then I'll jump back over to how I broke down the three remaining blocks for you guys, because I want to make sure it's clear.
Alright guys, so I've got about 240, 245 on the bar now. So I don't usually strap up until I have 240 or so, or above 225. So from here on out, I'm just going to do doubles or triples to really just try and get in the groove. I have a single today at RPE 7, but we'll see how I feel, because last week it didn't go so well, so I might just shoot for a 6, keep it easy, keep it light, and then move forward next week. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so like I said, four blocks of training, 16 weeks out, 12 weeks out, 8 weeks out, and 4 weeks out, of course, right? 16 weeks out, variety, preparatory work. 12 weeks out, it's still variety. It's less variety, but it's still preparatory work. At 8 weeks out is when I would consider that the official prep. So we're definitely focusing on squat, bench press, and deadlift, right? And like I said, weeks 1 through 3, we're increasing intensity or volume, followed by a deload on week 4, right? Now, one thing that I did want to mention with that, if you guys saw last week's video, go ahead and watch it if you haven't, right? There's some lessons there that I highly recommend you take a look at. So, I knew this week that we're watching the footage that I may need to take it a little bit easier than I would have wanted, right? And this was week 3 of the block, right? So, because week 2 didn't really go according to plan, you know, there's some hiccups along the way, I thought maybe I'll back off a little bit on week 3, and then week 4 I won't need to deload as much, or I'll try to push again as far as week 3 goes, and on week 4 I'll take a complete deload, right? So it was really up in the air what I wanted to do. So as far as the squat goes, the top single on Monday was a 507, which is a really good starting point as far as being 6-ish weeks out at that point. Bench press, like I said, I took it easy just because of what happened the week prior, and it moved okay. And I was able to come back for a PR on Friday here. You guys are taking a look at the long pause first rep here. So that was a nice little PR. And then as far as deadlift, which you guys will see later, I kept it pretty low on the RPE or intensity, RPE 6, and it moved just fine. So right now I'm finishing up week 4 of this block, which would be the deload, right? And I definitely felt it. I definitely needed it. So next week, which would be the 15th, the 16th, right? We'll be 4 weeks out, 4.5 weeks out or so, and I'm ready to push, right? This will be the last training block of Raw Nationals prep, and I'm ready to pick up the pace. I'm ready to push myself further than I have over these last 12 weeks, and I'm very hopeful, and I'm very excited that so far this training cycle has been one of the most successful to date, at least this year. So it says a lot. Just got to keep the momentum going and keep putting in the work. So that's it for the update. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all on that next one.